Hello, my name is Tim Lahili, and in this video we're going to be talking about auto processing. We're going to be talking about how to enable auto processing, how to create clients, setting client profiles, and creating cases. Let's hop straight into the tool and do all those things. All right, so all the action happens here in the admin widget. We come here to system administration and auto processing. You can see I've already set up a auto processing folder. If you have an older version or anything before the September release, what you'll see is something like this, where we just have the ability to set up an auto processing folder, and you can still use that. That enables you to come in, create an auto processing folder, and then any folders you put into the auto processing folder become cases. Unfortunately, that was not sufficient functionality for a number of our customers, in that they wanted the ability to create an organization in addition to that. And what I mean by that is, let's say in a forensics lab, they have certain types of cases, maybe murder cases, maybe tax evasion, maybe, whatever. They want to be and they have different processing profiles for each of those different type of cases. So they want to be able to create subfolders, and that gave rise to this enable client folders. We call them client folders because the request in fact came from service providers who in turn have clients, and each client has a specific processing profile that they like to use, and a demo case for their template, and things of that nature. So we call them client folders, but if you're in a forensics lab, think of them as case types. Anyway, what this allows you to do is to come in here and create case types. I've already got one, client one in this case, but let's say I want to go ahead and create a new one. I want client two. And I can pick the case I want to clone. If I have a specific case setup that has all of client 2's permissions and setup they want, the right bookmarks, the right labels, I'll go ahead and select that case. If there's a primary user that I want to get access to these cases anytime they're created, I go ahead and select that guy. And then for service providers, again, there's this whole concept around billing and auto billing. That's for another video, but you can go ahead and enable that by clicking here. If you want a user that you want to have emailed or just be associated with this account, go ahead and do that. And then the real important thing here is the processing options. I only have one. I don't have any processing options set up, but I have, so I'm only offered the default here. But if we want to go ahead and create a processing option, which we do in our normal way, again, there are videos directly on this, but we'll call this just demo, or we'll call it client one. Let's call it client A once we're done creating it. So really simple processing options here. Okay, we're going to call this client 2, because that's the client we're setting up. So now we have client 2 processing options. Let's come back here. And so we can go ahead and select that. And then we just click save. And what that's going to do is it's going to go ahead and create a new client folder underneath this folder. So if we go to our E drive, excuse me, and our E drive, Quincy Auto demo is the folder. Now we have client 2 there. And any subfolder we create here will get swept up and processed without the processing criteria that we just attached to client 2. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to move the Belkasoft, or I'm going to copy the Belkasoft folder over here, and I'll call it Belkasoft 2. Now, in Belkasoft 2, I have an image, an EO1. Let me be clear on this. Anything you put in this folder will get processed into the case, but it has to be an individual file, meaning it can be an image of any kind. But if you want to process a bunch of sort of native files, just zip them up and drop them in here, and then it will sweep them up into the case and they'll get properly processed. But if you put a subfolder here and then contents into the subfolder, that will not work. So in any event, I have created that new case, client 2. Every 30 minutes, it's going to look for any new folders, because that's the sweep interval. You never want to set up a sweep interval of 30 minutes. Set it like something for a full day, which would be 24 hours times 60, or minimum sort of half a day. But don't do it at 30 minutes. It's just way too frequent. I don't want to wait the 30 minutes, so instead I'm just going to shut off my server and restart it. On startup, it will check for any new jobs like this. So I'm in a development environment, so I do that this way. Turn off my Visual Studios, and then I restart it. And we'll see it pop up here in a second. This is our server. Once it's running, one more line and we're good to go. Yep, we're up and running. So now it should be looking for new contents in that folder and creating a case. It will not automatically refresh my case list. So to do that, I'm going to have to actually restart the console. But you can see I have 5 cases here. Now let's restart, or refresh, I should say. I will add a button here in the near future to refresh the case list. That's actually a request that we've gotten, but I haven't yet done it. So for now, I'm just going to manually restart it. And hopefully, if everything worked out correctly, we should now have a Belkasoft 2 case that has been created. And we do, Belkasoft 2. Now, my gut is we haven't given it enough time to process the data yet. So let's click on and load the case, and my guess is it will be empty. No, wow, it processed pretty quickly. It's, again, a tiny case. But it did process that data, and we're in a good spot. So all that happened automatically. The creation of the case and the processing of the data just happened because we'd set it up in the auto processing. So that's how a sort of subfolders work, or client folders work in auto processing. And I hope that information is useful and gets you started in a meaningful way with the feature. Thank you very much for your time.